All right. So my name is Nathalia Hernandez Ochoa, and I am a fifth year PhD student in the Lila Spenson Department or Center. And I am currently writing my dissertation, so I thought I would share a chapter that I'm working on or parts of it with you all. Um, and I just want to dedicate this presentation to Teresa Lozano Long, who passed away. And thanks to her, many of us are here. So um, let me do the presentation. Start. Is it doing it? All right. Okay. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of background on how this project started. And I'm gonna read to you a short vignette about the first time I saw Las Curanderas theater group. Okay. I am sitting in a dim light at the Municipal Theater in Shela, Department of Quetzaltenango, Guatemala. The setting is intimate. The stage and the audience are separated by rows made of flowers and herbs that form a square shape. Inside the square, there are four women wearing face masks to represent different characters in the storyline. The ceiling decorations, made out of colorful papers, hang over their heads in contrast with their huipiles and cortes. The colorful stage and the hanging decorations project a feeling of festivity, as is often used for birthday parties or even public parties in many Central American villages or pueblos. All of the sudden, a deep silence invades the theater. In front of me is the actress with an old woman's face. The prominent wrinkles marked in her face and the piece of cloth wrapped around her hair let the audience know that she perhaps is a healer, a shaman, or as we will call her, a curandera. She is performing a limpia, spiritual cleansing, for the actress wearing the face mask of a younger woman. In the scene, the younger woman is desperately asking for help as she struggles to unlearn and confront internalized forms of oppression. For years, experiences of violence have intensified her sense of self hatred and the constant feeling of being a dirty woman. As she repeats in a broken voice, Me siento sucia, I feel dirty, she touches her body as if it wasn't her own. The more she repeats the phrase, the more it seems she doesn't recognize her own body. Me siento sucia, me siento sucia, me siento sucia. As the audience witnessed the young woman's struggle, in the middle of the stage, the curandera walks around her in circles, and step by step, she starts to slowly move away from the young woman and expands to closer proximity to the audience. As the curandera is performing the limpia, she states in a vibrant voice, they know where to hit us. They hit us where it hurts the most, but in hidden places so that people won't notice. They hit us in the legs so one cannot walk anymore. They hit us in the head so one cannot think anymore. They hit us in the stomach and one cannot breathe anymore. As she walks around, these phrases float in the air and the audience is confronted. The curandera tone is of denunciation, but also of self reflexivity. Is she performing a spiritual cleansing not only for the young woman who has internalized this violence, but perhaps also for us, the audience? So I'm gonna stop there. It goes a little bit longer, but I don't think I have enough time. So that was my first experience with Las Curanderas and their play Fiesta Convite. And that's basically the seed of my dissertation project that I'm trying to write now. So one of the research questions that arrived from there is the one I'm gonna address on this small presentation, and that's Why are Maya women using theater as a tool to resist violence in Guatemala? And what is it about theater that allows them to transform experiences of violence into healing practices? So I'm gonna fly through this because this is not what I wanna focus on, but I just want you all know that I have read some stuff. So I use mainly feminist ethnography, positionality, and reflexivity, a lot of exercise, that kind. I conducted in-depth interviews. I have 13 interviews with the actresses and the directors. And I use some of Diane Taylor's theories about performance and history. She's a genius. Thinking about coloniality and gender, race, class in Latin America, and violence against women are probably like the main frameworks that I'm using to analyze these performances. So these are the two theater groups that I was able to collaborate with. One is La Curanderas, Teatro para Curar el Susto. It's theater that heals. That's their slogan or their philosophy for why they do theater. And they are from Santa Maria de Jesus, the department of Zacatepeques in Guatemala. And then we have Ish Sakil Ik, which roughly in English, it means women under the moonlight. And they are from San Juan Comalapa, Chimaltenango, Guatemala. And these are some pictures that I was able to take. One of them is in a presentation and the other one is in a rehearsal. So I want to focus a little bit more on what women are saying and their voices. So why do they think that theater heals, or why do they feel this way, right? And so I think in those narratives, we can see a lot of their knowledge, and that is based on their own experiences. So I'm going to read it in Spanish, but I have translated for those of us who don't speak Spanish. And okay. Sorry, I feel like in the camera I'm looking up because I have the other monitor. All right. So when I asked Shilka, who is a 23-year-old Maya Cachiquel woman, why she did, she chose to do theater, she said, la obra me curó. Lo que decimos es eso, como que me curó, me sacó el temor, la tristeza. Cuando hacemos la obra es como si tengo fe de que más mujeres van a ver la obra y van a saber que no es bueno lo que les están haciendo. Sí, porque la mayoría donde vamos lloran y yo siento que es como que si ellas están sacando la tristeza. So she's talking about theater having this quality of allowing sadness to get out of the body, like physically and emotionally. And she's saying how she didn't know how she was carrying all this pain until she was able to release it, basically. And so what she has noticed in some of the presentations is that many women cry or feel emotional because they can resonate with what's happening. And they also go through this transformation if they're open to it. So that's the context of this quotation. And then based on the interviews I had with the actresses, I was able kind of to identify a few themes into how, this quality of healing. And one of the first things that came up was, ¿dónde está el dolor? Where is the pain? So basically identifying what are those wounds that they want to treat or heal from. And so Ishmira says, a ver, ¿qué pasa en nuestra mente? Sintámonos. ¿Qué dice el corazón? ¿Dónde está ese nudo? ¿Dónde está ese dolor? Si este brazo me duele, es que fui agredida y empezamos así. Y le dijimos a la gente que cierren los ojos. So basically it's this exercise where they ask these questions to themselves first, and then they extend it to the audience once the play is over. And so this is basically just to identify what is it that we need to work on, or they need to work on, and then therefore the audience might as well too. Another one is that when they do theater, and when I say doing theater, like I refer to like the whole process. So like before, during, and after, like it's not just like the play itself, but they usually identify it as the play. Um, so she says, la obra, Ish Ruda says, la obra me sirve para desahogarme, desahogarse porque eso lo hemos vivido, no solo yo, no solo mi mamá, lo hemos vivido, nos han dicho, pero nunca analizamos que nos están maltratando. And so this one is in the context where um, she has some childhood memories, and she's telling me how her mother was heavily discriminated as a Maya Cachiquel woman who used to sell in the street. And she's talking about el desahogo, which is a concept that it could be translated to like relief, or when you like finally can take, you know, like breathe and like enjoy a little bit, because you're constantly carrying these heavy loads in your life, basically. That can be systemic, personal, you know, like different, or all of them. Um, and so the last one that I wanted to mention today is La sanación es colectiva, so healing is collective. And I feel like it resonates a lot with that feminist core value of like the personal is political, right? Um, and so I'm gonna write Ish Geranio's statement, and she says, yo siento que la sanación es colectivo, se da mucho más viable, en colectivo se da mucho más viable, porque yo desde mi casa, encerrada en un cuarto, en cuatro paredes, no puedo, no sé ni cómo exteriorizar ese dolor que tengo. Entonces no me voy a poder ayudar a mí misma. Pero si lo hago en colectivo con otras personas y que esas personas me puedan ayudar a exteriorizar esas emociones, porque muchas veces sufrimos violencias físicas, verbales, algún acoso, o la más fuerte para mí que sería la violencia sexual, porque es algo que se queda muy internamente en los cuerpos de las mujeres. En lo colectivo se puede hacer sanación, porque se van sanando generaciones también, la generación de mi mamá, la generación de mi abuela, la de mi bisabuela, y como también esa sanación puede ayudar a mis hijas y a mis nietas. So this idea of healing, like personal healing and its relationship to collective healing, is not only the ability to share your experiences, but it's also talking about with other people that might be open, you know, that might resonate with the themes or traumas or what you're trying to address in the play. But it goes beyond that, right? Like she's understanding this collective healing also as transgenerational healing. So I think that was a theme that was very prominent with most women when they talked about, like the previous statement we saw with the desahogo. It also evokes the memory of the mother, right? And like what they lived together and how it's similar. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at right now with this chapter, into exploring how how do women conceptualize and understand the type of theater that they're doing right now as a theater that heals. And I don't know how I'm doing with time. I'm sorry, I feel like I was ready because I know I'm the last one. So I'll just write this poem that I wrote for them because it's to honor their narratives and also the fact that they opened up to me. So for this project. So it's called Curanderas, Healers. There are wounds so deep that we forget about them, always trying to move on, but never willing to look within so that maybe we could heal. The deepest wounds are not in our bodies, but in our hearts. The longer we ignore them, the deeper they stand. So they become part of our souls. They haunt us for life. We continue to bleed, to harm ourselves, to harm one another, Open wounds hurt. Who is brave enough to acknowledge this pain? Thank you to the brave ones, las curanderas, the healers of the many worlds who dared to stop, acknowledge the wounds, and create medicine to heal our souls. Gracias a ustedes, las curanderas, que se atreven a curar los males del alma y los traumas sociales. Matios, everyone, thank you, gracias. And if you want to know more, I have a blog, so you can follow my project and also my journey as a researcher on these topics. So thank you.